Hi, I'm Jordan Roy-Byrne, and I'm here at the May 2019 Metals Investor Forum here in downtown, beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And I'm here with Matt Fargey. He is the Chief Financial Officer, the CFO of Maverix Metals, which is I don't want to say it's a new royalty company because you've been around for a couple of years, but compared to some of the other larger companies, you are new. And Matt, one thing I mentioned earlier about royalty companies is I think the key things are you have to be able to raise a significant amount of money, and then you have to be able to deploy that into royalties to be able to grow your business. And Maverix Metals, despite being a young company, you've already proved you guys can do that.
Yeah, I think the Maverix story is unique in that we actually haven't gone out and done that initial IPO. We haven't gone out and raised money from the public at this time. And so, what we've been, I think, incredibly successful at is we've been able to go out and acquire portfolios of royalties using our shares as consideration. Those have been incredibly accretive acquisitions, and obviously that's created value for the previous royalty holders as well. What that is translated into is, over a period of time, and going back to your new comment, we still like to think we're new. We're just under 3 years old now, just getting started. But we've now accumulated a portfolio of royalties, 80 different streams of royalties, of which 13 are cash flowing. And what I think is great, especially as the CFO of the company, we're creating a significant amount of cash flow now. We've taken that cash flow and we've redeployed it into new streaming and royalty transactions. And what that underlying cash flow has also allowed us to do is we've been able to get debt financing. And so we've been able to secure a $50 million US revolving credit facility, initially with CIBC and National Bank. We've been able to increase that just this past April to $75 million, just because by virtue of our increased cash flow, and that creates just more financial capacity for us to keep doing what we're doing. And so again, I like to think we're still new. I think we've built that critical mass, which is very important for royalty and streaming companies when they're beginning. To your point about raising a lot of capital and then deploying that efficiently or effectively, we've again, to your point, we've I think demonstrated that, and we have a lot of fun things I think we're working on right now, and we see a lot of value that we can create for our shareholders on a go-forward basis here.
And I understand of that $75 million, I know you can't promise anything, but the company expects to actually deploy most of that this year. I mean, can you speak to the opportunities that are out there? I mean, we're in a relatively difficult period for the mining sector, but there's still companies building mines and still companies that need money, they need help with that, and that's where Maverix comes in.
Yeah, you know what? I think one of the exciting place to be right now is a company with capital to deploy into the mining space, and for the simple reason being that you've noted is that maybe some of the traditional competitors to the streaming royalty company are other sources of financing. One of them being equity. The equity markets are not functioning as well as they have in the past, and maybe aren't open to some of the potential counterparties that we're dealing with. The other sources of capital, again, they seem to be drying up, and so we have a lot of different opportunities that we're looking at. A lot of near-term cash flowing or cash flowing companies that are looking to upgrade whatever it is at their underlying mining operations, and we look at our current $60 million capacity under our credit facility and our cash flow that we're bringing in each quarter as a real opportunity to deploy effectively into the marketplace and create value for our shareholders. So very, very exciting times for Maverix and its shareholders.
Can you mention some of the things that you're working on now? I mean, I know you can't give us exact details, but for example, the US listing.
Yeah, so I think in terms of corporate development, we like to keep that close to our chest. We're not going to reveal what we're working on. We could talk in generalities of what we're looking for, but in terms of the capital market profile growth that we're looking to achieve this year, just this past week we announced that we've been conditionally approved to move from the TSX Venture up to the Toronto Stock Exchange. In conjunction with that, we've put an application into the NYSE American down in the US for a US listing, and we're pretty confident that we'll be closing those in the next month here.
Okay, Matt, as we close, could you tell those watching where they can go to find out more information about Maverix.
So, I mean, the best place to go is our website. You have our contact information in there as well. We're always available to answer questions from our shareholders or potential shareholders. We like engaging with the investment community, so you know, feel free to reach out to us. We try and go to as many of these events as Metal Investors Forum as well, and then obviously Jordan, you know, a supporter as well, and we appreciate that. So again, we're open. Our website's there; it has all our contact information, and feel free to reach out to us for any questions or anything else that you guys would like to hear.
Okay, thank
Great.
you so much,
Thank
Matt.
you very much, Jordan. Appreciate it.